And we are recording. Hi, and nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice. I'm really glad that we made that happen because you're one of the guests that I want to talk for a while now, since we collaborated already and all that stuff. Do you want to give like a briefly quick introduction about yourself for the listeners?
So my name is Ruben. I am the musician that is behind Blauu and Insert Values. And I've been doing music for more than half of my life and entering into the music production around 5 years ago during COVID. And here I am just trying to survive in all this world and try to keep growing and connecting with more people.
That's fantastic. So you have been into music longer than the production side. Have you played in a band or?
Yeah. So basically at the age of 15, I started to play the bass guitar. So we were in the secondary school and we got like some friends and we wanted to do, that was like the classic punk rock, Offspring, Green Day, Blink-182 and all these things. So we started to do some covers from there and then we jumped to do our own songs. And then starting from there, my city, it wasn't really big. So we started to know like other musicians from there. And it was just a matter of time that we started to blend with other ones. So from one band, we were hopping to another one. And then from bass guitar, I jumped into another project with just guitar. And then just like exploring and playing until I arrived to Munich. So it was like 10 years around playing with bands. And then since I moved here, I'm not playing anymore with those bands, even though I'm just practicing almost every day.
Okay. So how long are you then already in Munich?
Too much.
Too long already?
Yeah, too long. So, we are going for the 8th year now.
Oh, crazy.
Coming from Spain, at the beginning, it was really cool. But now it's a bit depressing. Because we are so different regarding the culture.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
We are used to shout and we are used to, hey, come here, just sit with us. We can go to take some tapas and drink some beers. And then here it's more like, no, we need the distance. Time to time we are meeting. We need to planify for it, of course.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of the same in Switzerland. And it's so funny.
Is it? I thought you were more chill there.
We are kind of even worse than the Germans.
Really?
Yeah, with Swiss people, and I can, when I talk about we, it's like about the Swiss culture because, I moved here. But I was a child, but I think like my blood and my origins still kind of shine through because I'm not like the typical Swiss guy. But people are super nice and friendly on the like first layer. But like you said, like you have to schedule for going out or doing something like weeks or months ago. I have like some friends, but the thing is the friends are super busy. Oh, sorry. And are like working a lot or one of them having a business. And then it's so hard to just like schedule for going out, having a beer or something.
That's true.
So crazy.
Yeah.
And I have this one friend who's also live here. He's also from Spain, and I learned so much about the culture that I can totally understand if you talk about the differences between like the German folks and the Spain folk. It's hella different.
It is, yeah.
And I remember I worked with him like for 3 years. I know him for longer, but in a period of 3 years, we worked together as electricians, and we always had like a blast. We were there doing like the electricity part on construction, had some boombox there and singing and screaming with the music. Everybody else was like, shut the fuck up.
Of course, you are too loud. It's a classical one. Yeah.
I love that. For real, I love that.
Yeah. We miss it a bit, to be honest, but it's fine, I would say. So there's a lot of green. So that's a good point from where I am right now. We have the Englische Garden from Munich, which is like one of the best parks that you can have. And with the dog, we are walking there every day. So it has all the benefits as well.
Yeah, you told me that you would now go on a walk with your dog at this time, right?
Yes. I just came like 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, nice that you made time for this. I really appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah, of course.
Do you also miss like the time with the band? Or are you now happily that you have like more control and doing the whole production?
Sometimes I miss it because I'm going to explain like the things that I miss, and I'm going to explain the things that I'm not missing. So for example, doing all the jigs, that was really cool. And you were gathering all together, like all this excitement to put everything on the car and just going into a new avenue and just play there, and people reaching you like, oh, that was really cool, because at that point we were trying to do. So we moved like, we are growing up, right? So we are not doing all the time just punk rock. We moved then to indie rock and more alternative and all these things. So people were just coming there and they were like, oh, you are really cool. The way that you are playing the guitar here, it's really nice and a bit of different. So that was really cool. But then, for example, the rehearsals, sometimes it was a bit meh. So exactly, because we were in Spain, it can be that we are meeting like 9, 10 p.m. for a rehearsal, which is pretty late. And then you are finishing at 12 or 1. And then you have to wake up at 7 next day. So it's like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I'm not really missing it. And as well, like you have to coordinate like several people, right? So it's really difficult. It's really difficult to coordinate like several ones. Like one cannot meet because, I don't know, it has another rehearsal. Another one has to go to university, or I don't know, something different. And that part, it's like, I'm not really enjoying it, to be honest. But in general, I'm missing it. So here I tried to set a band twice, but it's just coming from Barcelona. There's so much culture for everything, and they have concerts every day. In Munich, it's more like, it's a bit more conservative in this point of view. So they have a lot of concerts. If you are doing kind of classic, you are going to succeed here for sure. But all this alternative stuff, all this garage, it's missing a bit. And as well, like the influences for people. So when you are talking into other musicians here, they are really like into all this band party because they want to be on the Oktoberfest, or they really like Pink Floyd. And I like Pink Floyd too. I really like it. But I'm trying to do something much more, I don't know,
original.
Or modern somehow, because it's always like only the classics.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's like, well, yeah, there are more stuff. I mean, probably the newest one might be Nirvana. And it's like, yeah, but it's already like 30 years old. So
yeah, it's...
I mean, I really like Nirvana. I'm a big fan of Nirvana.
Me too, but they are already like, if you count in that we are already in the year 2025, they are like hella old by now.
Yeah.
They were like fresh when we were teenagers, or even then they were like a little bit old. Or in my case, they were like already a bit older when I was a teenager. It wasn't the new stuff, and now years has passed, and now they're hella old.
Yeah, which I'm still enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I really like it, and time to time I put like some CDs from Pink Floyd or like all this classic I really love, like Led Zeppelin and all this stuff. But I want to play something more modern.
Yeah.
And it's a bit difficult here time to time. I mean, there are musicians that they are doing garage, but it's just like a small minority. It's difficult to find them.
And I think up to a certain level, if you're a musician yourself, I think you have to be open-minded for modern music. And kind of, I hear the argument all the time that like the new music is trash and the new music is this and that. But that's like the same words I heard from my parents when I was listening to modern music when I was a teenager. And you should kind of not get into this grumpy phase of your life.
These kiddos, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when we grew up, let's say in our teenager years, our parents had this mentality when they were like 50, 45, 50 years or older. And now I kind of think that lot of people are getting into this, yeah, the new stuff is trash mentality already by the age of like 25. What is super surreal for me. I mean, yo, you have to kind of be open and discover new music. From my side, I really enjoy like the modern pop music way more than the, let's say, the 80s one, where pop music had like his big era. I probably gonna piss off a lot of people, but I think Michael Jackson's music is absolute trash. But I really enjoy like stuff like Suburban, who is making like new age pop music.
Wait a second, because I think I had a micro heart attack here. Oh my God. I really love Michael Jackson, to be honest. So I think Thriller I played like several times, but that's the beautiful of the music. And this is how I think. So our mind, our mentality, it's going to evolve during the years, you know? So what we are thinking, okay, this needs to be, I don't know, yellow. In 10 or 15 years, maybe you are thinking, this is not yellow anymore. This is going to be, I don't know, red, blue.
Oh, yeah.
Another color. And the nice stuff is that maybe you are missing now some music in this case, because the way that you are thinking, the way that you are discovering new music, it's not interesting for you. But maybe in some years, this music will remain. And maybe you are starting to say, okay, this is not so bad. I would like to get more deeper into this kind of like style or subgenre or something like that. And then you start to dive into this music that at that moment when it was released, you are not paying attention. But now it starts to be like somehow interesting for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. So it does. So I would say like new music, you can like it or not, but it might be that in 5 or 10 years, you are just coming back because you just evolve somehow. We are always evolving, and that's the beautiful. So if we are stuck always with the same mentality, I think that will be a problem.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, that's a problem in general. Not only in the topic of like discovering new music. It's like with everything in life, in my opinion. If you kind of, there's this super nice metaphor that if you stand still, you're actually not standing still, you're slowly moving backwards. So you have to walk to stand still, and you have to run to get further somehow.
Yeah, so, and this is one of the things that I always enjoy. So when I'm discussing stuff with other people and they have like other different points of view for any topic, I'm always like, just prove me wrong, just show me, because I'm thinking in this way, and maybe understanding your point of view, I can understand something different, and then from there I can start to think in a different angle that I didn't put attention before, and show myself sometimes that I'm wrong on something. For me, it's the best step to keep evolving and keep like progressing somehow. And that's always something that I keep in mind. Like my word today may be like, I think on this, but as of tomorrow, maybe it's like I'm thinking on that, because someone just came and said, hey, did you think on this, on this, on this, on this before you're doing the statement? It's like, oh, it's true, I didn't think on that. So I have the autocriticism to say, hey, okay, there's something that it was missing, and now I have a new perspective on that, so I can make a new idea from this, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you are kind of stuck in your way of thinking till you see like, get like some more pieces of the puzzle, and then you see the whole picture and you think completely different on certain topics. Totally agree on that. And we live in weird times. I think it's important. I think it's important that more people are kind of getting this feeling of also listening to different opinions, because what I kind of recognized by scrolling through social media, it's went so hard to black and white, like we are this or we are this, and
exactly,
it's very radical. That's so dangerous.
Completely polarized. Yeah,
that's so dangerous.
We lived a similar situation as well in 2017 in Barcelona, because it was the period that people from there, they tried to vote to get independent from Spain. And then everyone turned like, you are completely in favor or you are completely against it. There's no middle point, you know? And I think that was really, really dangerous.
Yeah,
because it was like the hate for each other. It was really high. And I think similar stuff. I mean, I don't live there. I don't have the contact, but I think similar stuff is happening in USA right now, which is sad. It's sad to see.
The similar stuff is actually in whole Europe at the moment as well. If you take a look on like Germany, England, Switzerland is kind of not that strict because we are always like 20, 30 years behind everyone. Not in technology or something, but like in, you know, like political trends or whatever. We are always like a little bit behind. But yeah, totally see that point. And it's so dangerous because, in my opinion, if people would just, even if they're opposite, having complete opposite opinions, if they like just talk for an hour, they will find like 100 points that they agree on if they are just open to that. But yeah, I would say let's switch back to music before it gets too political.
No, we are not going to enter into politics anyway.
Better not. Let me now play your newest track so the listeners of the podcast can enjoy it as well. It's called Flower Garden. And before I play it, I have to say it's so cool seeing your reels where you like drawing your covers.
Thank you.
I think that's fantastic because every week, like at one day of the week, I scroll through Instagram and then I see like how you sketch the picture, how you color them. And that's such a cool thing that you do that.
Thank you. Yes. Usually the process is that I'm not doing that. My wife is doing it.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a combo at the end because since we are married, everything goes into the same bank account. So usually I come up with ideas. Hey, I would like to have it like this and all that stuff. And we can put here like the camera to record the process and make it in this way. And then she's throwing like some drafts. We are checking together. And if everything is fine, then we are continuing with the colors and everything. And it's really cool because she's enjoying this process and she wants to practice about all this coloring and all this drawing stuff. And I was like, yeah, I have so many ideas. You can practice as much as you want. I can come up with like 1,000 ideas here.
Yeah, and that's totally like something cool for all of you because she can practice what she wants to practice, like the drawing style. And you don't have to worry about getting like cover ideas or even hire a graphic designer because you live with your new graphic designer.
Yeah, well, she studied graphic design, so
that's amazing.
So she's doing that, but yeah. So usually we are trying to complement each other with all that stuff. So before, as a musician, I was working as a software developer, and I was doing front end, which is more like the part that you put everything on its place.
Mm-hmm, okay.
And we can have a lot of conversations together because she's doing like the other part. So she's kind of preparing everything and I'm the one who is then applying it. So we never run out of conversations. Like, okay, if we don't know what to speak at home because our topics, they are just gone, we can discuss, okay, did you see this new article about whatever best practices for UI and how can we make it on the front end and all that stuff. And it's really interesting because then we can see like the other points of view. And because of that, I think I'm not a graphic designer myself and I'm not like, I don't know how to draw it, but I can learn like the abstract part, the ideas, you know, and because of that, I have like knowledge or the directions that I want to go. I can express myself at least, you know, so I have this vocabulary thanks to all these years that we had it talking together about all these topics. And that's why we have like all these drawings too, because it's like, okay, I'm just visualizing in this. For example, this new one, the flower garden. It's like, yeah, this is from Yoshi Island. you know, what does it mean, right? And she was like, oh, what? Okay, we need Yoshi here. And then we are just like checking like some references, and it's like, oh yeah, but remember like the video game from Super Nintendo, they had this kind of like drawing style cartoons with all these flowers really sunny. So these are the backgrounds we are checking together, and we put there some ideas. And it's always really nice to see like, how can we come up with something? And then the result, it's always so cool as well, because it's like, it's not perfect neither, but it's what I'm looking for, because now with AI, it's really easy that you can come up with something. And if we're showing something that it has like some imperfections, it makes it somehow more human. And that's exactly what I was looking for. She was like, oh, but this is not correct. We have to correct these things. Let me just put it on the computer. And I was like, no. Just let's throw it as it is, because this is the way that we have to do it. This is the way that we want to show to the world that we did it ourselves.
Yes. And I can fully agree on that. I probably already mentioned it in another podcast, but I really started to, from having the first impression of like AI art when I started making beats and release weekly, I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. You can just like have instant the cover and be good with that. But it kind of, from this excitement about it, it turned really into a grudge on AI. I mean, now if I see cover art from musicians with like an AI pictures, I'm not gonna listen it. For real. I really started hating that. And
I guess we have so many pictures right now in the world made with AI that we are starting to get to the other way around. We are starting to reject it somehow.
Yeah, it's always when something new is coming up, it's fun in the beginning. And then it starts to annoy you because you get overfloated with that. The same, that's probably why I don't like the old 80s pop, is because when you hear it for the first time, you're like, oh, that's a cool song. And then, I mean, that's where Switzerland is like 50 years behind. If you turn on a radio, you have like, let's say they play 100 tracks per day. Just assuming 100, maybe more, maybe less. But from this 100 tracks, like 98 are really this 80s pop stuff, and 2 tracks are the newer stuff. And this goes on like day for day for day for day for day. And I remember as a child, before having like a CD player and own CDs, I had like to listen to this, and it really drove me crazy hearing the same songs over and over and over, because first you like it, then you hate it.
That's true, yeah.
Okay, let's dive quickly into the song before we forget. Oh man, that's such a cool soundtrack. I haven't played the Yoshi Island game, but it gives you this amazing summer holiday at the beach feeling.
Yeah, the melody is really good. I played it when I was a kid. I never had the Super Nintendo, but I had an emulator back then. Legally acquired, just in case. And that game was crazy because it was like kind of ahead of time. But on the other side, the FPS were so bad that you were not into the game, because it was like, okay, you're trying to walk and you can see like the sprite going like... And it was a pity, because like the previous one, the Super Mario World, it was amazing. It's one of the best games from Mario for sure.
Wait, is it the one that you have to jump into the pictures? are talking about this
No,
Super
no, no.
Mario?
That's from no. That's too new, man. That's from Nintendo 64. That's Super Nintendo. We're still talking about the old sprites.
Okay, because it was kind of already a little bit old when I grew up. The one with the pictures.
Yeah. So I mean, So Yoshi Island was a really nice game, and I always thought that this melody, it's really casual, and that's my way to express it at the end. So for me, like my style, it's like taking somehow good vibes and try to transform it into music. And that one was perfect. And I even had like the references. So for example, for me, it was like, this is sounding exactly as I'm looking for. If I will take it, for example, from the song from Animal Crossing, that Less Gravity just did the adaptation back then. And it's like I need to take like some of these sounds from here and just put it in this one because it's gonna work like charm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly what I did. So I was taking in consideration like, okay, good vibes. You are in an island. You are in holidays. Animal Crossing, Yoshi Island, all these like major chords. I did some reharmonizations as well to give a bit of tension and change. And then after that, so the reception is pretty good so far. I'm really happy with the result. And I'm looking forward to keep doing like more of this stuff. So especially these ones from Super Nintendo with, you only have like a melody and a bass or like some chords, but really basics. And then you have like, it's a kind of blank canvas. You just have the melody and you can put any chord that you want because Super Nintendo didn't have like the chance to make it with much more detail. And I really like it because since I'm studying piano as well, that really helps me to just like explore new chords, new roots, new ways.
So you're taking the original and replayed yourself on the piano, right?
Sorry, that was the thought. All the songs that I'm just releasing, I'm doing the performance myself.
Okay.
Usually. So the first part of the process, it's like I'm learning it. And then usually, at least it's like the melody and the chords together. If I can do some comping or something different, then it's completely more cool. But usually with that, I'm fine. And then I'm just like throwing the draft and I'm recording the audio and the MIDI. The MIDI is only for reference because Logic, then it can just put it in a score. But I never use the MIDI. I'm just taking everything from the piano directly. And that's it. And once I have this idea, then it's like, okay, let's start to, I don't know, build some surroundings here and just explore like, okay, I have a marimba and I have the melody. So let's see if I put some Rhodes, or let's see if I put like a grand piano instead. Some bass or some percussions. What can we do here? And usually the guitars, I try to add them, but just like with different riffs because they are giving a kind of top end. So this high end, usually it's lacking. And in lo-fi as well, we tend to darken it, right? But at least it's something true. Like, okay, we can somehow make the separation here. It can be clear. I mean, what we have like the voice itself, and then we have all the lows here. So how can we apply it? And usually it's that's the process that I'm trying to take in mind. So from the melody and from the chords, and then I'm just going with the flow. I mean, I'm not really thinking. It's like, okay, I'm just going to try that. The only thing that I take in consideration, it's like, okay, what's the harmony? What are the chords? In which direction I'm going? And what am I trying to communicate here as well? And if something needs to be changed, then I'm applying it. But apart from that, the rest, it's completely like, I'm just throwing ideas. And then let's see. I mean, let's pray that everything goes well.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that when we were working on that winter compilation album, because you really got this instrumentalization so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was just like throwing ideas there.
Yeah, but it sounded great. Have you all played by the piano and then just picked the sounds in Logic?
No, that's coming directly from the piano. So usually,
directly.
Yeah. So in Logic, the only thing that I need to apply usually it's like all these percussions and drumming stuff because I don't have the room. to do it. I mean, I have an electronic drums on the basement, but it's electronic. You still need the sample. So yeah, I mean, you can record it somehow, but I think it was multi-output, but I think the sounds from there, they are not great. It's like the classic Roland, but it's not, nah. I wouldn't use it for a recording. I did it once, but it was like really difficult. I'm just going with just throwing the samples by myself. And apart from that, the rest, they tend to be like real instruments, like the guitar, the bass guitar, the pianos. I mean, of course, if there's like any clarinet or flute, I cannot do that because I don't have it. But the piano has some samples, which is not like real, but somehow you still perform it. And the samples, they are really good from this piano. So
so you have like the piano with like bank of different sounds, and then you record the audio into Logic.
Audio and MIDI on the
audio
same time.
And MIDI.
MIDI for reference, or if something goes really wrong, then I can just correct it if I don't wanna. Or sometimes it's like, okay, there are 3 minutes music and you're just repeating the chords. Okay, I'm just taking like 2 or 3 times so they look different, and then I'm just repeating and throwing the MIDI back to the piano, because it's like, okay, all the time just doing the same. It's not funny neither, you know. It's not challenging. So that's usually like the way, yeah. So from the piano, everything goes from there. Like there's organ and piano and some synth with samples. And then I'm just like playing around. Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yes, it is. That's the reason I'm just doing Blauu, because when I started, I was like, I want something that I can improve my piano skills at the end, and that I can keep exploring like some synthesizers and some soundings that I really enjoy, or like delays and all these things, so some effects.
So that was the reason why you switched, or not switched, why you made Blauu as your second artist alias, right? So
more or less, yeah. So the point is that back then I was doing insert values with original ones, but always I was inspired by video games or anime. So almost all the songs, they have a reference from a video game or from an anime. And because of that, I could connect with a lot of people from the video game lo-fi community. So I started my networking there, and suddenly I was just like managing some playlists from some people, and they were adding me and I was adding them, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? I'm doing my own stuff, but they put me like in all these like best of Nintendo, best of, I don't know, Pokemon and all these things. And I'm really grateful for that. But at the end, of course, like I didn't do any Pokemon stuff, for example. It's more like I did an inspiration. Like I'm just playing, let's say, Pokemon Silver, because I'm starting to get old and I'm still playing Pokemon Silver. And then I got like, okay, this song is really cool. I would do it in this way. And then something completely different just comes up. And then I'm just throwing it, but it's different. It's an original one at the end. And because of that, I thought, okay, how can I keep progressing? I want to separate at the end. I want to keep connected with this community, because I will say like it's one of the most healthiest community, because just pure lo-fi can be sometimes a bit dangerous depending on the people you are just starting to connect and everything. So I decided
totally
to keep
see
on
that.
Yeah.
This community is really so great. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I wanted to keep on that one. And now I'm in a process, I'm trying to separate it. So for this year, I'm completely focused for Blauu, because it's a project that I think I can make it grow it up more or less fast, because I have like already all this work that I've been doing for all these years. So I know like where to go and how to move it and how it works, because I've been researching for some years already inside this field. And then insert values, at some point I will try to move it more like into lo-fi. I don't know yet, like if keeping it with some video games and animes, or just go directly with something different. But the idea is that both they are alive. I mean, I have Brook as well, but that's completely different story.
Okay.
But that one, I don't know how to move it yet. So it's a new project that's just like electronic ambient, because I'm just playing around with the synthesizer. So the point is that I'm having fun. I mean, it's not that I'm succeeding or not; it's that I'm having fun. And every time that I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I'm just gonna play around with that. Then I'm starting a project.
Yeah. And
And for
this,
example, for Blauu, it's piano. For Brook, it's the synthesizers and all these landscapes that you can make with the reverbs and the delays. So I have one from Chase Bliss called Mood, which is really cool. You can do like crazy stuff, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna try here. I'm just gonna move it here, and now what if we pass this guitar here? So it's having fun. It's having fun doing this journey at the end.
and that's so important.
Yep.
In the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you're kind of not feeling what you're doing, then why doing it? Yeah, I have to say I start to get like more and more experimentative with the music that I'm doing as well. Because I started back then I started with like experimental electronica music, then went to techno. But when I started this lo-fi, I was totally fascinated, by this classic lo-fi, where every instrument got like this wow and flutter effect on it. It really makes this and this really sounding super nostalgic, super old, and very dusty. But at some point, I kind of grew away from that, and the new beats are more, let's say, harder drums. I really enjoy like having a kick drum that goes really like you know what I mean.
Just one super distorted and saturated,
and not special like that. I like them like super subby. I don't like them distorted too much, but like clean and subby, and that the speakers in the car like really, that you can really feel it inside the whole car when the kick drum hits.
That's really nice. Yeah. So I think it was like Cody in your podcast that he said that the lo-fi genre is kind of evolving. So we are not anymore into this old style lo-fi where there's someone with a sampler and it's preparing everything, like as you described before. No, so we are evolving into several branches now, and we are getting away from what we have because it's been already 8-9 years.
Yes.
Like the lo-fi. So it's normal as well that it's evolving, and we are just going like into different directions, all of us, and we are exploring new stuff. I'm pretty sure like if someone will listen to my music back then in 2016, they will say that's not lo-fi at all. You are trying to do something different. You are trying to do, I don't know, kind of orchestration or something like that, but that's not lo-fi. But nowadays, maybe you can just put it there because it's like, it evolved. People are getting away from this dust. They want something more original inside the philosophy or like the values of this lo-fi.
And I think it's it kind of just the new word, lo-fi is kind of the new word for chill music, chill out music, because we had chill music back then. It was just something completely different. I mean, we had like some really chill rock music that you can also like just lay back and enjoy it, or like really get super dreamy. What's their name again? Ataxia. I'm not sure. This one solo project of John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh,
that was in the time where I think it's Ataxia, and he just that was the phase when he left Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he just take too much heroin, and then he did like this super spaced out guitar, ambient, psychedelic kind of chill music. I really enjoyed that while skateboarding, like longboarding, and then you're completely in another world. And then lo-fi kind of started to hype with, this is the new age chill music that is trying to be nostalgic. And now you can put every sort of chill music and just say it's lo-fi. And I guess nobody would disagree, because it kind of just shaped this branding, the branding of this word into just being like chill music.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end, lo-fi, it's not lo-fi in
Yeah.
reality, because lo-fi comes like from a style of recording. Like you have no money for like a proper gear, and then you just throw like an old cassette there or something like that. But we adopted it somehow. So I mean, obviously, when we are talking about lo-fi, we are talking about this kind of
New
music
age.
sound, but it's not like the word itself really attached to this sound, because it's something completely, it's like saying indie, like, yeah, which kind of band do you have? Like, it's an indie band. But I don't know, I sang with a label. That makes no sense, because you are not independent anymore.
Yeah,
You sang
exactly.
with someone, but it's like this kind of sound that they just categorized.
It's like it started with indie rock, and then indie rock becomes mainstream, and then it get big, and actually it's not what the word meant to be. But yeah, as you say, it's just describing the kind of
Exactly. Yeah.
the kind of
Yeah.
singing, the kind of the vocals. I mean, let's say Panic at the Disco is a great example. They are like everything else than like super independent or like kind of unknown. They are super known in the scene, but it's still kind of indie. I love their song names are so great.
Yeah, or Arctic Monkeys as well. It was like a great example,
Oh
because
yeah,
they started like they were kiddos, just like doing something new and different. But suddenly now they are doing sold out in all the big stages and everywhere, and all the festivals. And it's like, that's not really what it
yeah, and
is.
they're playing shows and are the headliner of a festival.
Yeah. But we understood each other when we wanted to mean like
Yeah,
the lo-fi and everything. So that's the important point at the end.
Arctic Monkeys are so great. I love them.
I really liked them back then. I don't know what they are doing anymore. I lost track.
At some point I lost track as well. I guess it was probably their best time, what's the name of this album? Let me quickly check. This black album of them. I'm kind of too lazy to stand up. I have it as a vinyl in my shelf, but yeah, AM. Oh, it's actually, is it? No, they have like released tons of new music since then. But yeah, the AM album, with the sound waves, the black album with the white sound waves, it's kind of, they were at the peak at this time.
They were good back then. Well, I mean, they are still good, don't get me wrong. It's just like, as I say, we are evolving. We are always looking for new sounds, with new styles, all these things. So,
and you have to evolve as a musician, otherwise you kind of end up playing the same song over and over again. Some very famous musician told that as a quote, but I can't remember who. It's like, you have to evolve, otherwise you will play the same song over and over.
well, imagine Radiohead having to play Creep like for 30 years. And they don't even like it, and they have to keep playing it, and it's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, and I guess that happened to like a lot of bands, musicians in general. When you're making music and then one song blows up so much, and you have to perform it, and like the venue owner says, yeah, but you have to play your like hit song or just
true.
to get the booking, because we want to sell out this show and stuff, and then you really start to hate it. Oh,
Sad but true. Yeah.
sad but true. Yeah. Oh, but I want to ask you, why the whale in Blauu? It's like your mascot on the project.
Well, it's not my mascot. It's my, let's say, my reflection.
Okay.
Somehow.
But what's the story behind that?
It's about the project. So what reminds you the name of Blauu for you?
Blau is blue in German, so the ocean, obviously.
Definitely. So
And
because
it's a blue whale.
I'm coming from Barcelona, and Blau means blue in Catalan, and Blau means blue in German.
Oh,
And
yeah?
it's the connection of the two. Like my journey goes from point A to point B, and both of
Interesting.
them they have some shared words, and this is one of them. And it's a nice one, but definitely it goes with one U, not two. So
Yeah,
only one
yeah.
U, it's more than taken in Spotify. So I thought, okay, with two, it's kind of nice as well. And then from there, of course, needs to be something that goes with the color itself. So we have to give, as I say, so I'm married to a graphic designer. We have to give a meaning on this. And then thinking on that, we concluded that a whale could be a really nice one.
And it's chill.
And it's chill, yeah. That's true. I mean, if you put a shark, might be much
Less
more active.
chill.
So we had to find something different. And so far, it's working pretty well, yeah.
I love it. My favorite covers of the ones is the one you made with the farming. What game was it? It wasn't Terraria, or was it Terraria?
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that cover.
So when we released, I was expecting if someone will notice that, but we put like the Easter egg that Blauu, which is the whale itself, when it's like for the seasons, we put a straw hat. So we were expecting if someone will see the reference because it's exactly the same as the one that Luffy is wearing. But that didn't raise the attention. No one really noticed it.
I'm just have played Stardew Valley for like a tiny little bit, and then I gave up.
Yeah. So it's a game. It's difficult to understand it at the beginning, especially it's if you never played like Harvest Moon or all these ones.
Oh, I love Harvest Moon. I play all this. All these farming sims are for me only that long fun to play till you get into this very grindy moment. At the beginning, when you just kind of build up and you see the growth every day a little bit more, then it's fun. But at some point, it's going over a certain threshold where you just have to, grind. And then I stop playing them.
Yeah, so that's a cool part from Stardew Valley. So the good point is like you are not only farming. I mean, you can fish, which is more or less like implicit in all these farming simulators too. But you can socialize, which is a page.
But you can do that in all the other farming games as well, like.
But then you have the adventure. When you are going into the caves, then it turns into a kind of action game. And then at the beginning of the game, you have some caves that they have like 100 levels and you have to reach like level 100. So you are going like one level further and further. You have to find like where is the stair and then just go into the next one. And then when you are progressing, you have a kind of like roguelike game. You go into another cave and that one it can be infinite. And because it's infinite, you can spend there like, okay, today I want to be more like action person. So you're just going there. Or today I want to chill and I'm just going to take care of the animals and the plants that I have here. So you can make it. And that's a good part from Stardew Valley. It's like you can really decide the path that you want to go. And they are opening up like really a lot of explorations because then you have to explore as well like some islands that they are not like on the game at the beginning and you have to unlock them somehow. And then from then they put their own challenges. You have to find like some kind of golden walnuts. And then because of that, you are going to get some rewards and this kind of thing. So it gets your attention. It's like you have to pass this threshold, but when you are passing it, then you have to realize that there's something else. And when you are finding this something else, then there's no turning back. Like I think I'm not even farming anymore in my game. It's just like I have the animals because it's more or less like easy. And at 10 a.m., I kind of like, I'm done. But then I'm going into the caves or on these islands, or I'm just trying to find any challenge that they put me. Like you have to find specific fishes that they are just like on rainy days during summer and all this stuff.
Okay.
So you really have to pay attention if you want to complete like all that stuff. So Eric Baronet is really doing really great on that point because he really know how to get like one more. You really have to try it once.
Yeah, I was not that far into the game because then I discovered Rune Factory, what is kind of similar, but with this anime graphic. There you have like the story and the fighting system, and you can have different styles of fighting and everything. You have to go through dungeons and explore the whole map. Really enjoyed this one. But also then after finishing the story, you can like play it way further and yeah, doing this whole socializing stuff. Probably no, I think all the dungeons are done if you're finished the game. Maybe there are like some hidden dungeons like in the late game, but usually then I kind of turn it off and started the next one. During the Christmas holidays, I played like not Harvest Moon, the Rune Factory 3, 4, and 5 within 2 weeks. Because I was like hard grinding the story, finishing the story, and then when it was just about only farming, I was like, okay, cool. I did the farming because it's cool in the beginning, but at a certain point, it's like always the same. I need like a lot of action to not get bored.
I mean, you can try it out, definitely. And just the fact that it's everything developed by one person, it makes it even more crazy.
Yeah, it is. I think I already had a podcast where we talked about how crazy it was, like as a one-man army to develop such a huge game.
Do you know why he developed the game? Because when he finished the university, he was applying to different jobs and no one wanted him. He was too junior. So he thought, okay, meanwhile, I'm going to get experience with my own stuff. And he started to develop the game, just like for learning purposes.
Interesting. And now he's sold out and he can just like retire at this point.
I think he rewrote the game like 3 or 4 times already, because it's like you are reaching a point that if you are starting because you are kind of a junior and you get your experience, your code at some point is going to be like a big mess. So the guy decided to wipe out and start the game from scratch. So he revealed exactly the same, but like with a better idea. And then afterwards, he wanted to even scale it more, and he wanted to make it like going further. So he had to rewrite it again. And it's all the time himself, like alone, just doing it. I mean, he has some people working with him, but it's more like, I think it's marketing or newsletter. It's not related with code or ideas or game development. He's alone there thinking stuff. And he's pretty active as well on the internet. So I'm really surprised, like, from where does he get the hours? It's crazy.
Yeah. That's so wild. But now he can just like stuck with it, keep like working on the game, maybe make a Stardew Valley .2.
He's working in something called Haunted Chocolatier.
Okay.
Which is another game. But he was saying probably for 2025, but late on December 24, he said that the project is stopped, is in standby because he's really busy with Stardew Valley and he has to stop it. But you were a kind of like master of making chocolate somehow, and it's like new village and new goals and new challenges and maps and everything. So I'm really curious about that one.
Yeah, and it's something completely new. I don't think I ever heard about a similar game. So that's great, because farming sims you have like thousands, and now you have like the big 3, and then you have like millions of copies.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah.
Such a saturated market now as well with farming cozy games.
Did you know that the music is as well composed by him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the topic on the one podcast I talked about.
Yeah, it's great. It's like this. I mean, from where do you get the hours? You know,
maybe he's just like geniusly autistic, because that can help.
I don't know.
That can help. You know, like having like some sort of autism gives you superpowers on some topics. You know, like learning fast, and if you're interested for a topic, you get like way further in a way quicker time than everybody else. It's like a lot of people treat it like what do I say, like something bad, but in general, it's like a superpower that you get because you can do some special some tasks that are interesting for you, like super focused, you're hyper focused, and you can just do it. And
Maybe I would say it's something more like it can turn something that you can be really focused, but you really have to develop it. So I think that's the challenge. If as a kid they are not stimulating this skill, then as an adult it might be much more difficult. So it's something that so you will have to put like double effort in order to reach to that status at some point, you know. And I'm not so sure if I would like to have it because it's like double effort. But
as I see it, it's always like you are struggling on some parts in life, but you are like 10 times better on other parts in life. You know, like let's say you have this natural skills, let's say in math or something, and then you are super good at this, but you are really bad at, let's say, socializing because you cannot find like the right topics, but you are so good on different stuff. That's how I kind of learned it, what it is. And I always think that's kind of cool. But yeah, not an expert. Don't want to say something wrong about this.
Yeah, no, we studied back then in university, but I don't remember much stuff, to be honest. I mean, it needs to be treated for sure, and it needs to be treated carefully because otherwise it can really struggle to the person as an adult. But apart from, I mean, most of them, they can have like a regular life after a while. I mean, after the years and everything. But I don't remember much, to be honest. I just forgot. It's a topic that I never had to work with it. So
okay, I kind of, when I was reading about that, it was kind of explained as something that you don't have to put in a bad light because it can really help you achieving great things. Like this is how I kind of read about it. That was fascinated me about this back then. Yeah. So are you still like spending a lot of time, let's say, playing video games for the inspiration, or how is it besides being a musician? Because for my part, I realized that I only play a lot of video games when I have like this creative burnout. You know, when making like too much music in a short period, then I have like to step back and take a break because nothing good will come out in this time.
Yeah, so for me, it's, I don't know, it gets into periods or motivations as well. Usually I'm playing like half an hour a day or something like that. I'm not spending much more. Sometimes I'm spending 1 hour, except one game that I was pretty addicted. But
which one?
It was Fighter Z from Dragon Ball.
Okay.
It's just like a regular fighting game, but somehow like the system they created and everything, it was really addictive somehow. It was like 3 against 3. I think it's Marvel developed that one back then. I don't remember which one. But the game is really cool. Just like it's addictive, at least for me, because it's like a competitive fighting game, and I was trying always to reach like more on the top. So I was spending a lot of hours. But apart from that, usually I'm not playing a lot of online games. So the offline games, it's pretty easy. You are stopping here. That's it. And that's my way. Usually, like when I'm doing music, afterwards, I have to walk the dog every day. So that's already like a disconnection for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, which is really good. And then, I mean, I'm doing the classic sports like as most of the people do. And that keeps me pretty away as well to be like just thinking on one topic, or otherwise I'm just like playing I really love to play music, so I'm just playing other stuff that it's not related. Like, okay, now in piano we are learning Superstition from Stevie Wonder, so I'm just gonna do some Superstition. Or we are just like, I'm just throwing here a backing track and I'm just gonna do some improvisations with guitars. Like no brainer, no thinking, just like enjoying somehow. It's not practicing, it's playing. Not
Okay,
practicing.
yeah. I see that point. Yeah, that's cool.
So that really helps me too. But in general, just like the life of just taking the care of the dog, it's already like enough to keep you away from being like 8 or 10 hours just like doing the same task or something like that. It's just like the dog really puts the limits here. Like, hey, it's time for a walk. We have to go. Or hey, I'm hungry. Just give me something.
Yeah, the dog will tell you.
Exactly. So it's pretty good. But yeah, I like to game too. Not so much, but I like to game.
Okay, interesting. So are you doing this the music full time then, or do you still have to do your day job as well?
Currently, I'm just as a musician.
Oh,
so I'm doing full-time musician because
that's so cool.
I was freelancing before as a developer, and everything was a plan already. So I wanted to do the jam, but I was preparing it like for some years and saving up as well some money just in case that everything goes as expected, that you will have some losses at the beginning, and especially like when you are just like living on your own, paying all the bills and the renting and everything. But then I saw the point, like, for example, with insert values, I saw it in a good moment. Like, okay, if that works, starting a new project, it might work too. So I'm in this kind of like proof of concept that if the Blauu project is going well for after 1 year, 1.5 years, then I'm going to continue. I'm reiterating on that. So at the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm just trying until December. And I put some goals. If I'm reaching these goals, then I'm continuing. So in December, I thought, I spoke to myself, let's say. I had a meeting with myself, like, okay, what do we do here, Ruben? And it's like, okay, the things are going well. Let's put like some goals for the next 6 months. And if you are reaching it, then we are going to continue. And it's a kind of like reiterating on that. And if something doesn't go well, then I'm just going back into IT, or I'm taking some project as a freelancer, like for some months or something like that. But so far it's going pretty well. I mean, it's not that I'm rich. So we have to be fair. It's not that I'm rich, of course, but it has the opportunity to keep growing up and to really focus on this, and I don't know, to make the difference somehow. Because when I was working and then doing the music stuff, every single hour that I was free, I was just here. So that means you have to sacrifice something. So it's like time with your family, or time with yourself, or time with your activities that you are enjoying.
That's so true. That's so true, yeah.
So I had to sacrifice one, and I decided to sacrifice work after a plan. And that's why I'm doing this now, because it's something that I really wanted to try for some years. And so far it's going well, and it's proving me that if I'm continuing working hard, it might be that I'm just like...
oh, there's your dog.
Yeah, she's there.
Oh, so cute.
It might be that then I can just have like, let's say a decent living. And a decent, I'm talking about, you can pay the rent, you can do the groceries, you can pay all the taxes as a freelancer. So you can cover everything, and you still have like some money for saving up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally the goal for myself as well. That's it's so inspiring hearing that.
And it's really cool because we are seeing some people from the community that they are reaching this goal. So that motivates as well. Like, okay, if this person can do it, what really stops you to do it too? And that's my, always when I'm waking up, I'm taking like some examples, some references, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it like this one. I want to reach the same point as this one. So I'm going to keep working. And that really motivates myself. Like, okay, keep carrying on.
Oh, that's so inspiring, for real. That's so cool. And how long can you now live as a full-time musician? For how long are you doing this now?
For how long I've been working as a full-time musician?
Yes. Or living as a full-time musician. It's less, it's more living.
So I started the day I released my first song with Blauu. And that was first out was 2024. So it's not really a long time ago.
Okay.
7 months. I think it's 7 months
so
now.
It was the same time you decided to quit the job and only doing music. Was the same time you started with Blauu?
Exactly. Well, it's not like quitting the job. It was more like I'm not taking new offers, because as a freelancer, it's like you are just working for a while for some company, like helping them in whatever they need. At least in the development field, it's like you are helping them with something for some months, weeks, or years if necessary. And then you are just finding another one. And at that point, I was like, I'm trying it. I'm going to give it a try. Why not?
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's awesome, man.
It's like living the dream somehow.
It is.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
You're living the dream like of hundreds of thousands of like musicians out there. That's so fascinating.
Yeah. I'm really happy too. And you have to put like some schedules and some tasks too. So you need discipline to do that. You cannot just jump like, okay, because you are just waking up one day, I'm not really creative, so let's just call it a day. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to put like some routines. Or for example, every day I'm just doing like some exercises only for piano and guitar. So you are spending all there already like 1 or 2 hours just doing all these routines to warm up. And then like all the recording stuff, constantly reading as well, a lot of scores. So it might be that one day I'm not recording stuff, but because I've been doing like a lot of processes before, like, okay, I'm just reading, I'm just preparing, like I want to understand this. I don't know, let's say I'm doing a song from Zelda. So I want to understand from where do we go, how it starts and what's going on there. And for me, it's really important to understand as well, like the emotions that they are attached to the chords. And because I studied that, I have the ability to understand it. And I'm really happy, because then it's like, okay, I want to know what's going on here, because then in the future, if I want to do something similar, I will know which progression, I can take as a reference and I can express myself. So it's really important for me. Like, okay, you're going like from do to re, so from C to D. And it's like, yeah, you're just doing that. No, we are going from here to here. What's going on? Just think on yourself. Describe what's going on here. Just stop for 30 seconds, and it's like, okay, which feeling is spreading to you? This progression. What's going on here? And then understanding this point, to me, it's like, it's really important. And that's why I really like to do all these covers, because it's like, I don't have to think that right now for myself, which I was doing for Insert Values. I can read and I can understand the feelings of the composer when they try to make it for one specific game. Let's say at that point, we were talking about Zelda, for example. So why it's giving me such a nostalgia feeling, or why is this so happy, or why is this so sad? It's because all these movements, and I want to understand it, and I'm reading them, and I'm transcribing it, and then I'm playing it. And then, so it's a lot of tasks, a lot of processes. And you really need somehow, if you are doing the full-time musician, all this discipline, like, okay, you cannot really skip it. You have to be resilient and go for that.
Yeah.
And definitely, at least this is for me. So I'm completely aware that not everyone is doing that, and they are doing something different. But for my motivations, so what makes me happy and what makes me feel like realized, this is my way. I like to spend more time. And hopefully the time that I'm spending today, it's going to be time that I'm saving up the day of tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Interesting. And you really have to kind of be disciplined to, it's like being a kitchen chef. You have to always constantly sharpen your knives to be ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like that. I mean, probably that's the same thing if you're doing other art. if you're let's say you're drawing, you cannot just like wake up and say I'm not feel like not feel the inspiration to do a painting today. Then you can like practice painting something from different angles, and the next time you feel the inspiration for your own new unique painting, you have like 5 new tricks on how to draw something in different angles.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. Like if one day you think you cannot get a song, try to find like other ways. Like it doesn't music. It doesn't have to be like composition. It can be music. Even just like listening music, it's something already. You are referencing.
Yeah. And I have to say, the thing with the covers, even though I really cannot play any instrument, it's such a big learning, because now I can, after doing some covers, I can now start opening Logic and kind of compose some chords. Even though I cannot play them with my finger, I can draw them and change the velocity to, or make like this drum effect. I have a keyboard here and sometimes I use it as a reference. But I don't have, that quick skills of fastly changing
Definitely,
chords.
yeah. As long as you can just play, I mean, not play, like you can hear it, you can express yourself.
Exactly.
That's the important stuff.
And through doing a lot of covers during the last, let's say, 8 months, I really now at the point where I can start a new original project, and I don't need any samples anymore, because I just experimenting with different chords, and now I know, okay, if I want to make it like more hopeful, I'm playing chords that are higher in the root note. But if I kind of want to make it like melodramatic, I'm making kind of a change of, let's say I play this chord, and the next one is a bit lower, then something in the middle, and then lower again. Kind of, yeah, I start to realize kind of some, how do you say, some kind of basic structures. And it's so helpful. I can totally agree on that making covers is so good, just to understand more.
Exactly. That's the real point. Like you understand how someone goes expressing themselves, and that helps you to understand how can you express properly as well. Because at the end, I mean, at least for me, music, it's about the emotions that you wanna say to someone, to some audience somehow, and knowing the power of them, it's pretty crucial, I would say.
And yeah, that's so special, because for me, longest time in the most fun part was to like mess with sound, taking a sound and just mess around. Like taking a small snippet from a sample and then just like manipulate it so hard to get like a new sound that sounds cool. That was the fascinating part, till I really get into this. Yeah, it's kind of similar, as you said, like understanding how the things work together, kind of learning some rules by myself. Because I don't know, have you read a lot of like music theory books for the composition part?
Somehow, because so for me it's like when I started to do some music when I was 15, I started to study, and there I studied for 8 years. It was all the music theory and then the harmony. 4 years music theory and 4 years harmony. And it's not that I'm taking like active lessons anymore now, but it's like with my guitar teacher, because I'm doing piano and guitar. Time to time, it's like, okay, this progression, can we check together? And can we just like make sure that everything is on its place? And we are just analyzing and throwing up ideas as well there. So So I completely forgot what you asked me. To be honest.
I just kind of quickly ask about the part of the theory, because for me, when I'm reading a music theory book, I don't understand nothing. But seeing and hearing it, like let's say analyzing a song, and then let's say you get the MIDIs for a cover song, and then see what the original composer did is way easier to learn, let's say for myself, because I see what he was playing and I can hear it and then I can feel it. But
That's the important
let's
part.
say just take a book and read like, yeah, and in this and this and that. It's like learning Chinese. I don't understand a thing.
Well, I mean, it's that's the important part at the end. It's like everyone can learn in a different way, you know. So for you, probably it works in a practical way because it's like you have some feelings, like from the music, and then you are trying to find yourself. How can you express them? And I'm doing that as well. But in general, in life, I'm a really like I'm a person who tends to read more like the manual before jumping into something. So for example, if we get like a new TV or something like that, I'm the one who takes the instructions and I'm starting to check stuff. And then my wife just comes and just turn it on. And I was like, no, wait, we have to check that everything is fine first. Like, let's just go and do it.
That's
So it's a way of different people are learning in different ways. So for me, like the methodological way of a book or a manual or instructions or something like that really works for me because I'm enjoying it. For other people, they are more practical. It's just to be aware of that and just to accept it somehow.
Yeah, for me, I really love reading books, but I hate when there are manual books. I mean, same as you told about your wife. When getting like a new device or new plugin or whatever, I'm just open it and I experiment with it. And I have this situation so often at work when I'm kind of try something and I'm getting it to work. It's not 100% perfect, but it works. Then my boss comes over and he's like, "Oh yeah, you installed that new thing, and how do you use that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just press this button, then this button." And always his reaction is like, "Why are they printing manuals if you don't read them?" And I'm like, "I have no time to read them."
Yeah, so different people, different ways for learning, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's so funny.
Yeah, for me, it's the other way around. So before sleeping, I tend to take like one of these manuals, like, I don't know, learn master Java in 3 steps.
Okay.
It's extremely boring, but it helps me because then I'm getting sleepy.
Okay, fair point.
but it's so I mean, it's completely stupid to read some code printed in a paper, but I like it somehow. I mean, I like the books, yeah. And
Okay.
I read some books on theory and harmony and all that stuff. It's somehow it happens on your head then. I mean, it needs to happen in your head, otherwise you cannot really visualize that. And of course, it's not the same, but
Okay, now I have to quickly stand up to show you something. This time I'm
okay.
not too lazy. One
Okay.
second. I got myself 2 books for learning. This
What is
one
this?
is Music Theory for Dummies. And this one is Harmonics for Dummies.
Nice.
I have read like let's say the bookmark is on page 48. At least I made it to page 48 within like 4 months.
Well, it's something. It's something.
Yeah.
But at the end, as I said, so for you, maybe it works much, much more better being practical. So the important is that you feel that you're progressing, you know? Like it doesn't mean like, oh, you are reading a book, you are gonna be better. Or you're just like trying it, you're gonna be better. No, it's just like the way
Whatever
that
works best for you.
exactly. And if you know what works for you, then just trust yourself, trust your instincts for sure.
Exactly.
Because that's the one it's gonna work.
But I think the one with the harmonies I really have to understand. So this is the one I have to read. But actually have to understand the other music theory first, right? to understand the whole harmonic thing.
So the music theory will be more like you know how to read the scores.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's why I stopped reading it. It was like,
and understanding like the tones, like the flats and the sharps and everything, and getting into a point that you can kind of like read it without any issue. If you are going into school, they are saying, hey, we are gonna do like some exercise that I'm just like playing a note with a piano, and you have to know which one is it. And it's a bit repetitive and mechanic, but it's important too. And then the harmony, it's what I said. It's not about the score anymore, which it's really present anyway. It's about to understand like what you want to do, like from where do you go, from where do you come, and where do you want to go, and why you are doing that. Because like for the pop rock, you are always using like the same progressions. Like they are making fun. There's a lot of videos that they are making fun. Like all the songs, they are doing exactly the same.
Yeah, I know such videos.
Exactly. And people, it's true. Like people, they like to listen this. They listen to that progression like 1,000 times or hundreds of thousand times, and they like it. They feel like a safe zone. And then there's jazz. And jazz, they are doing like completely freestyle. And it's like, why this kind of freestyle can work for you? Some people, they try to blend it, like some jazzy stuff with some pop stuff. And this feel like, okay, why are you doing this? This is not from the tone that we are just playing. Why are you playing this chord now? And this is the part of harmony. Like, okay, you have these rules. You can understand from where do you want to go. And if you go to something completely different, then we are giving you some resources to understand that in your ear, it might make sense. But in jazz, at the end, you can play where you can just start to do something like that on a piano, and you can say jazz, and it can be completely justified as long as you can explain it why. That's the point. So there's no wrong music. There's no wrong music. Harmony is like everything. It's completely okay if you know how to justify it, for sure.
I'm making jazz, and why did you play it like that? I felt like it.
Exactly. You can always say like, I just put a diminished there, and it always sounds good. You don't have to know what it means. Like, I just put a diminished. It's always classy somehow.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just to give like qualities, textures, and everything. It's something that I enjoyed, to be honest. I mean, if I had the chance to study music professionally, I think that's the path that I will take. I wouldn't take like, I don't know, to be a master on guitar or bass guitar or even piano. I would just go for something like, okay, understanding properly like harmonies, and I guess like some productions and all that stuff, because I don't want to be like the master of an instrument. I want to be good in all the instruments because I know the source correctly.
Yeah. That makes
I don't have
sense.
to be like the best one. As long as I can play what I want to play, I'm fine.
Yeah, and that what really makes a music producer in the end of the day, like knowing enough on different topics and combine them. Because in the end of the day, when it comes to music production, you can like get let's say single short samples, let's say from a guitar playing an F major or a C minor, and just like take the single sample and just arrange them as you want, like going from the F to the G to the A to the C, and then you don't have to play the guitar, but you understand what you're doing and why you're doing this.
But it's more fun to play the guitar.
It is. It is. I tried a bit with the guitar that my friend left here.
Just give it another try.
I got so frustrated. On electric guitars, it's fun also for me, because the same friend teach me like how to play the, how do you say, the keys. I know the basic chords because I had like guitar lessons for a while, but I started with the acoustic guitar and then gave it up, and like 6-7 years later I met this one friend, and he gave me an electric guitar, showed me some stuff. It was super fun to play. Also because the body chords are way easier on the electric guitar. And if you're not playing that well, you can just like distort the hell out of it, and then it sounds good. And it sounds like super metal. I love it. I will definitely give it a try. I'm actually looking, since the session I had with him last Friday, I'm looking forward to get an electric guitar here and play it from time to time into my production, because I mean it's so cool when I'm composing like a chord progression with like drawing the midis. Then I know exactly how to back it up with the guitar. I know how to play a G. I know how to play an
That's
F,
really nice.
an A minor, or whatever. And then I can just like this is something that I set a goal for making this year, like getting an electric guitar. Also, just search out, the tabs for, let's say, the key of A major when the song is in A major, just to see what notes are in the scale. And then just like experimenting, like with single notes.
Definitely. I mean, for web productions, one thing that you can do with an electric guitar is just like plug it once you have like all these chords and just play around. You don't have to do chords. You can just like try to do some riffs, like not metal riffs, but I don't know. It's just like, poing. Yeah, it's enough, and probably you are not going to play like the correct note at the beginning, because it's not like, unless you know how to justify it and you are in jazz, but it might sound wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's just like, just keep trying it. At some point you will reach like a note that it will be like from the scale. And then from there you just have to find another one, and that's it, The cool part is like you have to, just recording it, it gives a completely different dimension into a song already.
Exactly, and this is something that I want really get involved into the production. Also, I mean, it's easier when you're already made a bunch of songs. Also, if you listen to a lot of music, like I listen to music like all day long while I'm at work. And when I'm just like making something in Logic, if a note is off, or maybe sometimes the note can be perfect in scale, but it sounds off to me. So you can always like use your ears as a reference. Does it sound good or does it sound bad? And just go with
that's the most
notes
important
that sound
one.
good.
Just trust your ears for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And in the end of the day, you can like try. If you're super creative, you can like make a song completely out of tune, let's say, out of the scale. But if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end, it's just trying it. You don't have to know much if you have the will, somehow, and if you trust your ears. And one exercise, if you want to try it as well, I mean, this is really good. Just try to sing it for yourself before you are recording. Okay, I like this song that I'm doing, and I'm thinking something like la la la, and then try to find it in a guitar, because then I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but from there you're gonna have like the reference of your own voice. It doesn't have to be in tune neither. It's just like you are expressing is what I was saying before, like what you want to do here. And then you just have to find a way on how. It's about languages. You did it like with your voice. Now you want to do it with a guitar language, and you just have to find it. Just be a bit patient. But if you know it because you already sank on that, like, okay, I want it like la la la, it's a matter of time. It will just come, and it will just be like in the right place that you want to make it. And then from there, you can start to do like small variants as well. Because you already know how to play it, you can say, okay, what if I'm just delaying a bit this other note? Or what happens if I'm just trying to add another one? And then suddenly you will realize you will have something that's completely cool.
This is actually the best thing you can do when making music. Because I know this trick, I often use it when I'm stuck,
Mhm.
when I don't know where to go further with the track. And it even helps with drums to get a good rhythm, especially with, let's say you're having chord progression, and I usually do that first and then go to the drums. And sometimes it's easy and it just flows. I try something, it sounds good. Sometimes I kind of beatbox the beat, and I mean, I don't want to show how it sounds because, like, when I'm beatboxing, the kick, the snare, and the hi hats are all sounding the same. But in my head, I know which one is which.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's the point. Yeah,
If
it's really
someone would
important.
listen to it, it would be like only a snare roll.
Yeah, sometimes with the songs that I like it as well, I'm trying to make it like this, and it sounds the same. But in my head, it's like, no, now it's a hi hat. Now it's the kick.
Yeah,
Now
yeah, yeah, exactly. No, that's the best trick when it comes to music, for sure.
yeah. So keep it in mind when you want to do something with electric guitar because it's gonna really let you express as you
Yeah, a
are
little
looking
bit.
for.
I have like a little bit of experience, and I even have with another artist name from like 5 years, 6 years ago, lo-fi tracks made where I strum an electric guitar a little bit. Um, that was long time before Relaxicorn. It was even before the whole techno stuff. It was kind of the first projects that I did when opening the door for the first time. It really didn't sound bad because you can just like over record single notes that are kind of off. Play some basic melody. Okay, this one note is bad. Just delete this small section and just re-record this one note. Yeah, I really miss that, to be honest. But acoustic guitars now that we are kind of not friends.
It's really difficult. I mean, usually like for a proper guitar that it's acoustic, you need like a room and some microphones that they are good for those ones, and as well you need to know how to play it and technique. Which with an acoustic, it's always like small mistake. It's really noticeable somehow.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. You make like a super small mistake and you can hear it super loud.
Yeah.
And you don't have that with the electric. That's amazing. I
I mean,
love it.
usually with acoustic guitars, I'm really defensive. Like, okay, don't try to be like a superstar. Just go for something easy because I know that. And just like moving from the strings, you can even hear it like,
Yes, yes.
and with the electric guitar, it's not so.
That's exactly my problem with acoustic guitars. And because the bar rate chords are so hard, it always like some notes are clean and the others like.
True. That's true.
Maybe my fingers are too fat. I don't know.
No. It's the acoustic guitar tends to be like
It's a bit
a good
harder to
challenge.
play.
A good
Yeah.
challenge, I will say.
Okay. I would say I'm kind of running out of topics, so let's come to an end with this episode. But my last question that I ask everyone, if you want to give like some life advice or something that you want to share with the listeners, like a good positive message for the end.
To me, it will be like if you really like and enjoy something, try to go for it because it's what I did with the music, and try to be like the two skills that you are gonna need more. It's like resilience and as well like to be really persistent for it. And at the end as well, like you need some toleration of frustration because for sure it's not gonna be easy. But if you keep going and you keep pushing, for sure you are gonna reach it. You're gonna reach your goals, you're gonna reach your dream, and you're gonna reach whatever you are looking for.
That's lovely. And
Thanks.
it's true. You should always kind of, life is too short to not do what you really enjoy and love.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
uh, that was a really good time, a really good talk that we had. Thanks a lot.
Thanks to you. Thanks
And
to inviting me.
I hope to see you again on a like future episode, so we can like kind of come back on some topics.
Yeah,
Get
sure.
into
Whenever
new
you
ones.
want.
That's so cool. And really, thanks a lot for taking the time. And for the listeners, thanks for listening. And we see us next week. Goodbye.